Out in the future for sure. Yes.
Okay.
I'm looking to get a better deal on the POS system, transaction fees, better system with good software, which is up to date, that helps restaurant managers and and employees as well to run smoothly with no problems whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I guess what I want to do is start with kind of a high level, just like a 10-minute quick shot at what GoTab is on the surface. And then I'll start asking you guys some questions about your operation so we can zoom in on some things that I think could benefit you. But in general, I think from a top-down perspective, the main reasons that GoTab is going to be compelling for you is as you're growing this brand, as you're growing this business, we'll be able to provide you with a single dashboard where you can do all your management from one spot. So all your internally owned operations, your corporate operations, you can push out, you can manage your pricing, you can manage your tax rates for different municipalities and counties. You can work on your menu offerings and kind of do everything from one spot. But then as you grow and have franchisees, you get that same functionality where you can look at your whole business in a single spot in the GoTab dashboard. You can control their pricing. You can control their menus with actual like permission-based locks down to the employee and store level. Much in the way a server may not be able to manipulate an item on the back end, a franchise owner might not be able to manipulate a price or manipulate, a menu item off of their menu or something. So we can give you that functionality. And at the same time, if we have everybody on the GoTab platform, we can actually remit your franchise fees from the operators on a daily basis. That's another functionality that we have for multi-operator. Essentially, we become a revenue filter. And if they owe you 6% of revenue per day, we just filter that off and deposit into your account automatically. So you're never chasing somebody down for a franchise collection fee, on a monthly basis or quarterly basis or whatever. But beyond that, I noticed we were looking at your website, we were looking at your Yelp page. We noticed that you're using number flags at location 1. Was the plan to continue with that service model at location 2?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Oh, I apologize. So we noticed that we were looking at your Yelp page at your first location. We noticed some number flags. Like I walk up to the register, I place an order, you hand me a number, number 10, I go sit down. And then from there, so does a server or a food runner come from the kitchen and for order 10 to find, that location, or are you calling out the number for me to come back? Like what's the operation there?
Yes, you come in, you check. We take your order, we give you a number, you go and sit down wherever you want to sit down. Mm-hmm. We bring that stuff to you.
Okay. Once the initial order is fulfilled, is there ever any like additional ordering? Do people like sit down and order more stuff? Do they get service from that food runner? Or is it just like you drop the food off, they eat and they go, super cafe like style?
No, yeah, just like cafe style. You just take it to them, they'll eat it. You don't. If they want something else, they have to come back to the register and order.
Would you say that happens fairly often? Not often at all, like scale of 1 to 10, or maybe scale of 1 to 5?
Yeah, I'm not there all the time, so I cannot tell you. When I used to work there a long time ago, okay. Yes, we did that. As I said, I did scan and go. I did like order from your own tables, barcodes and everything else. I find out not many people use. Some people use it, of course, but not as much as I was hoping.
I know based on your photos and your crepes, I can just imagine people want more crepes after they have the first one, because that's
yeah. So and I ask because we do offer all of those different types of order flows where we can encourage folks to order ahead and pick it up. On a direct web order through our platform, straight to you. So there's no like DoorDash fees or anything attached to that. We also do offer the QR code ordering. We do kiosks. We kind of have that bumper to bumper one-stop shop service model, and you certainly wouldn't lose anything by leveraging it. But I kind of want to stick to what your business model is. I don't want to go down roads that you're not particularly interested in.
In this location is a little bit different. As I said, it's bigger. The other one, we don't have much room. Here we have pretty large room. Mm-hmm. We're gonna do the same thing as you can come and order from like the POS system, and then you go and sit down. We'll bring that to you. We will have like what you call it when you take you take the POS system in your hand, like, and you go and take orders from tables if you want to. Or we can have like QR codes on the tables as well. I mean, we're gonna have all options for them, to be honest. So just to make it easy on customers, everybody prefers different situations.
Yeah.
And we're trying to be the solution for them now.
Okay, excellent. I'm glad to hear you say that. So you're kind of making my next statement for me. And one of the things that I really want to talk about with GoTab and your locations is our ability to accommodate all of those different ideas. Like, so some people might want to stand in line and place an order. Some people might want to sit down and order from a code. Some people might want to order ahead and pick it up. So we can support all of that, kind of at the same time. Absolutely, fluidly. Go ahead, Ken. I got this. And one of the things that we can do is for those folks that do want to continue ordering, I can provide you with the handhelds. We have a great one. It's this kind of nice, sleek, elegant solution, just basically a tablet. We also, we have the ability, we call this Easy Tab. And what we do is, like, as we're doing the transaction, the customer places the order, they see the order on the customer facing display, which I'll show you here in just 1 second. And once we fulfill the order, we can ask them for their phone number. They type in their phone number. We can now text them that their order is ready. But something we can also do is give them an open tab so they can go and sit down and continue ordering either on their own, or we can give them that open tab and a server can take care of them. If you want to try and encourage folks to linger and order a second round of, coffees or pastries or whatever it is that you're offering, so we can keep that tab open and eliminate that need to run a second transaction. If transaction fees are something that are weighing on your mind, and we have even an insignificant amount of people doing a second transaction is effectively doubling your transaction rate for that person, right? So by allowing the simplicity of keeping that order open until they decide to close it, we can open up that possibility for you. And also, like, I used to run a couple of restaurants. I live in San Francisco. And I used to run a couple of restaurants that operated in this model where you would order at the cash register, but once you sat down, you would have a server that could potentially continue taking care of you. And we found that by allowing people to open up a tab, and this is 10 years ago before GoTab even existed, we got people to hang out, and have a second round or just to stay a little bit longer and get another coffee or take a pastry to go or whatever it might be. So this is kind of a tenet of GoTab. Like, we want to break down those walls and remove the friction for your customers and for you, to just sell food easier, to make transactions easier, to make operating easier. And if you decide that you need to run a lower labor model and do customer facing ordering or self-guided ordering, we definitely have those possibilities open for you as well. But that being said, unless there's any other questions, I'll just jump into a screen share and like I said, I'll do like a 10 to 15 minute quick high level overview of what our product does. And then we can start zooming in on anything that you guys find interesting or that you have questions about.
Yeah, I understand all that stuff. Yes, as I said, I already do have all that stuff with Joe's, to be honest. It's same. I just want to understand, okay, I never heard of GoTab till Mr. Matt told me about it, and he said it's good stuff. I said, okay, let me hear it. I want to see what you guys do, and I can see what offer you can give us, so that way we'll see if we can work with you.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, there's a few of the things of that list Toast can't do. The open shareable tab is definitely one thing. The text on fulfillment is definitely another. But like I said, if we're going to stick to the table flag number running idea, I mean, that's totally fine. But as far as operationally speaking, so you have point of sale customer facing display. That's what's on top here. With your Toast system, are you using their kitchen displays or are you using printers?
Theirs.
You're using the displays?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So this is all going to be very straightforward. I'm not going to spend too much time on the actual point of sale because you have expectations of things it can do. It does those things. It has buttons. It takes money. It does all of that. So I'll spend some more time showing you things that ours does that no one else's does. So starting an order is pretty straightforward. You just hit the quick order button. This one's asking me for a guest count. Don't worry about that. It's just an optionality in my demo environment. Immediately, the customer sees that we have a cart open. If you have any kind of loyalty program or you would like to use our memberships or loyalty, they check in immediately through our platform. This is first party. We don't require any third party for this. And as I start adding things, they just show up on the kitchen or on the customer facing display. That's all fairly straightforward. Some things that are a little bit unique to us, I'll show you here. So, as a bakery, I'm sure you get a lot of questions about ingredients and pastries, or what is gluten-free, what is not, et cetera, et cetera. We can build that information right into the point of sale. So you can see here on my hot dog, it has a photo of what it looks like. It tells me what the prep time is. If we choose to, we can actually also build in recipe and trading guides right into devices. This also exists on the kitchen display. We can have that information built right in here. Is it gluten-free? Is it not? Does it contain sugar? Does it contain tree nuts, peanuts, whatever? As a manager, I'm not being challenged for a PIN number. I could 86 and set stock levels for my baked items, right from here. So if we had, I guess I have, this one's not set up, but if we lost some, or if we wanted to see how many are reserved for online orders or whatever, we can manage a central inventory pot from GoTab, whether through the point of sale, through the manager app, or through the kitchen display. Adding items, pretty straightforward. We'll just put it in the cart. If there's certain pick and choose items that you have, like omelets or sandwiches or whatever, we can pre-select popular condiments to make your ordering faster. So like I click on wings here, and we can assume, or we are assuming, or we know, as it were, that most people get medium size and barbecue flavor on that item. So we've gone ahead and pre-selected it. If we diverge from that, we simply come back in and we can change the size, we can change the toppings pretty easily and edit it. It's just kind of an efficiency thing of making it faster to order popular items, as opposed to having to go through that whole pick and choose process every single time. When I send these orders in, it'll pop over to the KDS. But before we get there, I'll just show you a couple of additional things. If you ever wanted to provide service at tables and you wanted to incorporate QR codes, a server with a handheld could actually be notified that they've been sat or that they have food to run through our handheld device. So this can be set up to let them know if a customer walks in and scans the QR code in the dining room, they'll get a notice that they have a new table and they should go greet it. Or more importantly is when the kitchen bumps out an order from the kitchen display, they can get a notice that there's food ready for them to come around. So we can bridge that in this larger venue. We can definitely bridge that gap of people being notified that there are events happening. As a manager, I can be notified if somebody needs a comp void or discount right through my device. I can get notified if somebody 86 is something, and we can also get notified about tab ratings through our customer ordering system. I'll talk more about this momentarily. So I'm just going to go ahead and send this through. We do have a table map. If you guys aren't numbering tables, I won't waste your time with the table map. But the one thing I am going to do is I'm going to show you the easy tab flow here. So, sorry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's all right.
I'll just show you the easy tab flow here.
My screen froze again. If I disappear, you guys, I'll be back. I don't know why I'm having.
Well, there's some background noise coming. I keep thinking somebody's about to ask me a question.
Yeah. I may disappear, but I'll come back. My screen keeps freezing. I don't know why.
Okay.
Computer, but.
So anyway, during the transaction process, as the customer dips their card, or sorry, it took too long. When we go to initiate the payment.
Mm-hmm.
Customer taps their card on our payment device. And now I'm going to get prompted for my phone number. And when I do that, I now can receive text messages that my order is ready, or that, I can continue ordering or whatever. Basically, I'm receiving my tab on my personal device. And now I'm now fully checked in. I'm in the system. We now have a tokenized profile for that customer. But there's some downstream marketing functionality that we can attach onto that later. But basically, so during that checkout process, you saw it's just that fast to type in my phone number. We now don't need the table flags. We don't need pagers. Customers can be informed that their order is ready and they can then come and pick it up. More importantly is once they have that tab on their phone, when you place orders, it'll ask you if you want to check in at a table. So I don't have anything open right now, but I can start a tab at the register, receive it on my phone, go sit at a table, and then move my tab to that table. And what will happen is it'll update across the system. So an order placed at the register can be dropped off at table 10 if the customer checks in at table 10. So it's kind of like higher level of functionality that we offer. So moving over to the kitchen side and how orders appear. We also leverage kitchen displays, and ours is a little bit smarter than most other people's. There's a lot of functionality here that I'm not going to mention because we probably don't care about coursing or time firing or coordinating stations. Ours can do all of that. But for intents and purposes, orders appear here on the screen. We have expo functionality and we have station functionality. You're probably noticing this batch. What that is multiple people ordering from multiple devices on a single tab. It's kind of if we're not doing table service, it's really not all that important. But if I have a tab open, I can share it with people around me, either via text or via generating a QR code or WhatsApp or whatever. And people can join with me on a single check. So we can batch those orders together in the kitchen display. I've got an all-day bin, which is really useful on the prep side if I need to, get 15 eclairs or 10 croissants warmed up or whatever it might be. I can come over to my bin. I can check my bin for my all day and then get those items started, come back and audit my tickets and start acknowledging my orders in my kitchen display. I showed you that prep functionality on the POS side. Here it is on the kitchen display side. So when we're training new cooks or when we're launching new items, we can build that information right at the workstation instead of deploying, newsletters and booklets or whatever. And again, because I'm a manager, I can 86 and I can set stocks from here. I can also comp and void from here. If for whatever reason we didn't manage our inventory properly, or the cashier rang in the wrong item, they can stop it at the kitchen very quickly saying, hey, stop the hot dog. I actually didn't mean that. In the real world, you'll get challenged for a PIN number, but I can void that. I provide a reason, and it's now an item voided, not going to be prepped. And you can see here, as my items are done, as items are finished, they move up to the front to let us know that it's time to expedite this. And when I'm done with it, at that moment, when I bump that ticket out, this is when we'll actually text the customer that their order is ready, which for you maybe might be takeout orders or orders from the patio, or again, if you're doing self-service, we let them know that their order is ready, and it'll spit out an expo chit for them or for the kitchen, so you can staple it to the bag or whatever for like large orders. Any questions about that so far?
Yes.
I'm sorry, you do have questions?
Yes, actually, just about I already talked to Matcha, I think, about it, about the customers. We already have like a rewards program for the customers, and we have more than 13,000 customers. So I want to know if we are going to be able to upload the sheet that we have.
Yeah, what platform are you using for your loyalty and points?
Square.
Oh, it's from Square?
Yeah.
Square loyalty. Okay. So you inherited this list from the existing business?
Yes. Actually, I already uploaded, right? Downloaded, sorry. So we just want to know if we are going to be able to upload it through your system, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I guess it would be on we would have to make sure that we have the same offering. So our memberships and loyalty, we can do points. We do points, punch cards, and subscriptions.
Points?
Sorry?
You don't have points?
We do have points. We have points, cards, and subscriptions.
Okay.
So yeah, I think I just need to make sure that I guess the question is, can we cleanly transfer the list with all of the accrued points at once to 13,000 people? I believe we can. I don't think that would be that hard. We can create a segment. Yeah, I'll definitely double check that, but I don't think that we would have an issue doing so, moving them from one loyalty program onto ours.
Okay.
Anything else about the operational interfaces before we?
For this, it's all clear. Yeah.
Okay, good. Some other things you can do from here. You notice that at the item level, I can control stock levels. We can also do this at a more macro level.
Mm-hmm.
So if I come into my product screen, I get a little bit more in-depth functionality here where I can actually grab entire groups of items and I can manipulate them. Something that we can do is set delays. Because we know the prep time for every item within GoTab, we can also manipulate that prep time. So I add a delay of, actually I'll do it on appetizer to make it a little bit simpler. So I can add a delay of 15 minutes or whatever onto these items. So now my 5-minute items are 20 minutes, my 15-minute items are 30 minutes, et cetera, et cetera. Just to help communicate, it kind of communicates, that we're busy and we can set expectations on how long it's going to take to get specific items, especially if the oven gets backed up or whatever the situation might be. So now over on the customer side, since we haven't really looked at this, if we're going to be leveraging customer ordering, ours is quite a bit more functional than other systems you may have seen. One is this is native browser. There's no app required. Once you have created a profile, basically once you've done a transaction one time in GoTab, as long as we get your name, your phone number, and your credit card, we can create a profile for you, which means you never have to onboard again. And U.S. business operators, you can now look at spending habits and kind of get demographic data and work on, kind of more direct marketing with that. That's kind of downstream stuff. As far as placing orders, very straightforward. Full color photos for the food. We can also expose dietary information if we choose to. The menu is also filterable and searchable. So whatever options you may have, whatever things people are interested in, dairy-free, gluten-free, butter, French. You think of it as a searchable hashtag, right?
Yeah.
So as I'm going through the menu, I just filter down to the things that I care about. Gluten-free, spicy, contains dairy, and the menu break itself down to the items that are relevant to me to make it a little bit easier to navigate larger menus.
That's good.
Placing orders is pretty straightforward. Again, we can do this suggestive selling or this pre-selected condiments for folks. We know that most people add salmon to this salad, so we go ahead and pre-select it. Or this particular salad, comes with a free protein choice, but we know salmon's the most popular, so we selected it.
Okay.
And then to show those wings again, sorry, that's a pretzel. Oh, my menu's all scrunched up. It's kind of weird. Again, so we can just have these, pre-selected condiments for folks. It's basically like a quick order thing.
I got you. Okay.
So add that to my cart. And then, okay, so this is my easy tab coming over. It's asking me to confirm the last 4 digits of my card because I have an easy tab pending. So I just confirm that I am, in fact, me. Sorry, 8-3. Stop that. So I verified the card, and now my open tab, this item will now be added to my open tab. Right.
Okay.
So now if I look at it, I can see the things that this is what the server added for me. This is what I added for myself. I can add a gratuity and pay. And within the wallet, this is where we can have digital gift cards. We can have house accounts. This gets really like a lot more interesting when we start adding in like the web ordering and any kind of catering business that you might do. Because through the same platform, we could take large format catering orders with purchase minimums, with time, like if you want 48 hours notice or 24 hours notice to produce the pastries for a catering order. We can also build all of that in based off of an order zone. So if you wanted if your catering menu has, say, a $500 minimum or a $250 minimum, you can build that right in to that menu. So you have to satisfy that criteria before it'll even let you place the order.
Nice.
Cool. Any questions about any of that customer facing stuff or whatever? I'm kind of breezing through this, trying to keep it high.
I think, yeah, it's very simple.
Okay. So if there's questions, I can go now to back office stuff.
Yes. So actually about the tracking of the inventory, how does it work?
In what sense?
So inventory tracking first with the kitchen, like about the menus, like the chef. I don't know the app for toast. Is chef something?
Oh, Extra Chef.
Extra Chef, yeah.
Yeah. So what you're looking at here, this is literally like, think of it as retail inventory, item in, item out. natively, like this, what you're looking at here doesn't know that a hamburger is, 4 ounces of beef and a slice of cheese and a slice of tomato and a slice of we do have integrations that are actually stronger offerings than Extra Chef. And that can be in the form of either we work with Mies, we work with Yellow Dog, we work with Margin Edge, we also work with Restaurant 365. And since you're going into multi-location, I might sort of nudge you towards a Margin Edge or a Restaurant 365 solution versus a Mies or a Yellow Dog. Because those the two former platforms are kind of more bumper to bumper, one-stop shop things where you can do your bill pay, your recipe formulation, your food costs, HR scheduling, payroll, all that kind of stuff, like in one hub for multiple locations. But also, if you're just looking for a recipe formulation or inventory control, yeah, absolutely, Mies and Yellow Dog, or even we have a new one called Click Bacon that also does that. And they're all, very affordable, very easy to use, and really actually good companies with good support. So.
Okay.
Cool.
Right. So, okay. So this is.
Sorry.
Yeah, just continue. It's okay.
Okay. So this is the manager dashboard. And what I'm going to do is actually take you over to an actual business that we operate in Virginia. So this is the brewery that our CEO owns. So I always like to show this off because it's actual like real world sales data. So what you can see here for a single location, we have all the basics. So you open this up. This also functions on a manager app that you can pull information up directly on your smartphone.
Okay.
So we have net sales for the day, taxes, tips, all the basics are there. Sales by zone. In our vernacular, a zone is a revenue center. It's just a little bit more flexible than that. It can be your takeout, your catering, your dine-in, phone orders, kiosk orders. It could be
I got you.
a patio, a dining room, whatever. Yeah, it's kind of another sub point where we can apply rules or pull sales data, in a more granular fashion. On my chart of accounts, you can see we pull this in directly from, in this case, it's QuickBooks. But from the accounting suite, we pull in the chart of accounts so you get clean transfer of data to whatever your preferred platform is. Everything that you would expect to see here, discounts and fees and adjustments are two different things. I'll get into that momentarily. Payment types, sales by account, et cetera, et cetera. We also provide you with this cool little manipulatable sales graph. We're looking at just one day right now. It's about 2:00 in the afternoon on that side of the country. So I can grab this and compare it up to 3 weeks in the past, which is kind of fun. So I'm now looking at all of my Fridays for the last month. This is in sales by dollars or sales by items. This gets way more interesting when we want to pull a large data set. And since you're Toast users, I'm going to show you like how much more robust this is than what Toast can do. So we're going to go all the way back to the 6th of September, 2023, because I know that Toast can't really go beyond 90 days. And we're going to pull up, in about 4.5 seconds, we're going to pull up a year's worth of sales data in a summary fashion. And then now down here in my graph, it gets a little bit more interesting because I'm looking at now 365 days of sales mix. So this is a typical day in my restaurant, but maybe I wanted to just zoom in on a couple specific days, like my 2 slowest days of the week. So let's get rid of everything. We're just looking at Sunday and Monday, or maybe I just want to look at Mondays. So now I'm looking at an average of 52 Mondays across the entire year. And that's by hour. I can actually look at those Mondays individually. I just changed my parameters a little bit. And now I'm looking at 52 Mondays of sales mix, again, in items or in dollars. And then you can do a comparison, like, okay, let's compare Mondays to Thursdays for no good reason. But so just basically like really easy way to collect data, and I hover over it and I can see, okay, on this day, this was a Monday, we did 10 grand, average check was $16, et cetera, et cetera. Same functionality on the product mix side. We can go all the way back a year. We can look at popular items. You get a customizable drill down. So mine's set up very simply, just major category, product, and opt-in. We're a brewery. Our number one selling item is beer, as expected. Click in. We now will drill down to what specific product was the #1 seller. It takes a little bit longer because it's a year of data. And then it's, so you continue clicking and pulling those data up, and then that will transfer daily to, if you are using, whatever inventory platform it is, we can send the sales data over there for that formulation and inventory control. When you get to the multi-location point of view, I'm going to show you this one. I'll show you Malcolm. So if I'm running a restaurant group here, and I'm not using a third-party platform like Margin or 365, we can get all of our vendors. I'm going to shrink this down to just today to make it faster. So what we're looking at here is multiple concepts that live within a single company, right? So we have a taco shop, we have a bar, we have a smoker, and some po' boys and whatever. So if you guys start running franchises or running multiple locations, we can give you an identical dashboard that will show you, you'll have a group. You can see here I've got a group, all of my individual businesses, but then I have my roll-up page that has everybody. So I'm looking at how everybody's doing for today. The sales by item, by tax, et cetera, et cetera. Everything I just showed you exists in that way, which I think is pretty cool. Are you guys close to actually franchising? Do you have people that are interested in franchising your brand?
Yes, actually.
Cool.
So we're still working on it.
Okay. And again, so when you get to that point, by using our invoicing system, you can actually create reoccurring and one-time invoices for those franchisees. So basically, like if they owe you, let's say they owe you 10% of their gross sales for the day or for the month, if that's what the franchisee agreement is, effectively you just create an invoice, you enter in what the percentage amount is, and if there's a do not exceed, you can also create a do not exceed. And if I do $1,000 a day and I owe you 6% of that, then every single night you're going to get a $60 deposit from every $1,000 that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a daily remittance thing. We just make it really, really simple for multi-operator, multi-property businesses to operate. Last couple super important things to show off are we do have integration to the big three as far as delivery is concerned. We pipeline this through our platform, so you manage the menus, you manage the pricing, and push that out to the marketplaces and create the rules and the pricing structures. So
any platform, you can use any platform.
Definitely the big three being Uber, DoorDash, and Grubhub, and then if there are other smaller vendors in the area that are on the list, it will also work with them.
Okay, and what about Bento Box? Since we have the website with Bento Box, I think you work with them.
I don't. It depends on what working with them means. If Bento Box is an aggregator that's pipelining for you, we do have our own web hosting flow, native. So I might be able to save you some money here. I don't know what you pay for Bento, but we also can include this. I think it's $65 a month with us for a Webflow site that'll actually get them over.
And we can have the same website, like the address.
That is not something I am super familiar with. If we can buy the URL from Bento, I guess when you're using Bento Box, does it go to a Bento Box website? Is it bento.com /
No, actually, the FrenchCafe.com.
It's the FrenchCafe.com.
It's made by Bento Box.
Okay. I guess let's just take a look at it.
Yeah, the FrenchCafe.com. Yeah, you go down.
But when I order online, I'm ordering through Bento?
Yes. You see down, just go down. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand. So basically, we can replace all of this with first party is the short version. So this would all be you wouldn't even need the third party anymore. It's all done through GoTab natively. Okay,
so we will keep the same address, right?
We just need to find out. Yeah, we just have to be able to get that URL from Bento, and if not, there's definitely solutions to get around that.
Yeah.
Because if Bento is the web host and they own, if you're leasing the URL from them, I'm not really sure what that transition looks like off the top of my head. The last thing I want to show before I open it up for questions from you folks is our rules engine.
Mhm.
This is really the heart and soul of GoTab and what we can do with this, especially for you where you have like such a multifaceted operation, and you might want to run promotions, or you might want to, like even how to manage the points rewards for those loyalty members. So this is a really, I can talk about it in simplified terms, but it's actually a rather complex operation table that allows us to accomplish things by using who, what, when, where, and why. Like happy hours are really easy to understand things. So I always start with this, right? So anything that we identify as a beer is $1 off. That discount is applied to the individual item. That's important because with systems like Toast or even with Square, if you want to provide a discounted item to somebody, you generally have to create a new SKU for that item. So you have multiple pricing structures. GoTab has solved that problem. So basically, if we're running a special promotion, maybe on Monday afternoons, you guys do eclairs for 50 cents off. It doesn't really matter to me what it is. With this particular type of discount or this particular discount, it's built in on nothing but a schedule, which in demo environment is all day, every day. But we can get super granular, right? So maybe Mondays eclairs are 50 cents off, and it's only going to be from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. or whatever. So I can create those parameters, create the discount, and then I can associate that discount to a very specific item. And I can do that because of those searchable hashtags that I showed you on the customer side. So we can attach these Go tags to items. And once we have those, we can now apply rules, or we can identify these items. So if we have a Monday promotion, we create a Go tag for the item, we create the Monday promotion. And using the rules engine, we can decide that on Mondays, eclairs, from 10 to 12 are going to be 10% off or $1 off or whatever it might be.
Okay.
And that's all automated, and it's using a single SKU. And that's really the important thing, is you're not going to get dirty sales data with multiple pricing schema. You're going to get single pricing, single reporting. So as a cashier, when I ring that item in, see here, it just immediately applies that discount, right? And if I don't like you, then I'm just going to exit out and you don't get the discount. Yeah, it's just that simple. I think it's way more complicated from there. You can create combo deals. Like if you're trying to encourage larger format pickups, like maybe you want to sell, a to-go carafe of coffee with a dozen pastries and, a dozen breakfast sandos or something like that. So you satisfy the criteria, and then you offer a 10% discount or, some other like incentive to make that purchase. So you create it in the rules engine. And then that can be associated. If you see a yellow bar, that's a discount or whatever. The rule is applied to a specific zone. So maybe it's catering, maybe it's pickup, maybe it's dine-in, whatever. Blue bars are segments of people. A segment effectively is a bucket of names. Once I have a bucket full of names and their contact information, I can now apply rules to that group of people. So if you're in the military segment, and you sit in the dining room, on the patio, or at the bar, you'll get 10% off of your tab. So it doesn't work on delivery, doesn't work outside, it doesn't work upstairs, whatever. It only works in these few places.
Very clear, yeah.
And then you also get the notices with that. And if we're going to leverage the customer UI, then you saw this pop up when we first came in here. You'll see it again. So I created this the other day for a pizza place I was working with. They were thinking about offering this subscription membership, right? $300 a year, and you get 50% off your first 2 pizzas every visit. So we created the rule. We created the.
How much a year?
It was like $300 a year, something like that.
Standard.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, the pricing is kind of arbitrary. It doesn't matter. The point is, we can create that membership.
Yes.
So when we pay the dues for that membership, our benefits are 50% off of our first 2 pizzas every visit, right? So what you see here on this notice is we're trying to get people to join the pizza club. And by doing so, we're offering them $25 off their membership. So instead of $300, it's $275. So yeah, with the notices, we can now communicate. We can give coupons out. We can communicate, hey, we're opening up a new location. Come and check us out in Winter Park or wherever. I'm not sure where the new one is. It can also just be a thank you. It can, follow us on Instagram, join our mailing list, whatever it is. So you just you have a lot of power in connecting with, maybe those 13,000 people that are now going to be using this, with your new restaurant. I'm sorry, is the new restaurant going to be a French cafe or is it a new brand?
A French cafe, yeah.
You want to rebrand? Okay, I thought so. I just wanted to double check because I hadn't asked. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the last stuff I really think is important to show off as far as functionality. The rules engine really can be a game changer, especially if you want to run promotions at multiple locations and manage those and then pull, unique sales data from all of those promotions. It can be really, really compelling being able to build in discounts and coupons like that. But that being said, any other questions?
Yes, so for the clock in and clock out for the...
Yeah, so we do have time clock functionality. You can clock in, you can clock out, you can take a break with GoTab. We can create, employee profiles for managers all the way down to like line staff. Do they have POS access or do they not? All that stuff is included. And we can deliver those data to your preferred payroll company. We can also get you set up with scheduling integrations in the form of either Schedule Fly or 7 shifts. 7 shifts might be a more compelling offering in your situation because you are multi-location. They kind of have that, again, end-to-end functionality where you can post a schedule, manage that schedule through GoTab. It has break compliance, a manager log, tip pooling, all kinds of like payroll functionality. So that would probably be the one I would recommend for you.
And can you just show me how it appears on GoTab?
How the time clock appears?
Yeah, clock in, clock out.
Yeah, sure.
Please.
So basically they just hit clock in, clock out, and they punch in, and then ask me, am I clocking in? I don't have multiple roles. I'm just a manager.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that fast.
So if I want to see who clocked in and who clocked out, and if someone is like late or something.
Yeah. So again, our native time clock is just a time clock. You can clock in, you can clock out, you can take a break. We don't build in natively like shift compliance or fencing. But if you want to add those features, adding 7 shifts will give you those kind of compliance features. But yeah, you can look and see. Nobody clocks in the demo environment. So I don't have a report to generate. But yeah, if you want to look at your daily shift report and see if somebody clocked in early or late and then adjust that, you can do that like all right here.
All right. Okay.
So yeah, we have like again, the basic time clock functionality that somebody might need is built into GoTab. If you need something more robust than that, we will add an integration for you.
Okay. And what?
The last thing that I think really is the most important thing is customer service. So something that we do that Toast does not is provide actual 24/7 customer support. You have a chat window on your manager dashboard. It also exists over here on the kitchen display and on the point of sale. But if you ever need help with something, you can initiate a chat. Actual human beings, in your case, because you live in Florida, I think about a half a dozen of them actually live in Florida, and they are ready to help you at a moment's notice. On weekends and on holidays. Like we are literally 24/7 with our support, and that's included with your SaaS fees.
And actually, I don't know how it works here, but like, no, I think it's not possible because like for Bento Box, we got like message pop-ups from customers if they're not satisfied with something or they have something missing. So they don't have an access like to GoTab.
Actually, they do. So we can include two-way text messaging directly from this device. So when you receive an order, or I'm sorry, when you place an order in GoTab, you receive a text message on your phone. It is possible you can also respond to that message, and you get that communication directly through GoTab.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's an open phone feature, but yeah, it's part of what we offer is the ability to add two-way texting. In fact, I'll just show you since I've got an order open. I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like. This is gonna look like I'm texting myself because I am Demo Cafe, but you'll see what it looks like.
And like I can have it as a manager on my phone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
that was fun. Yeah, so and then there's also, I have one of these fancy new MacBooks that runs iPhone apps. So we have an iPhone Manager app. We have an iPhone Customer app that we never really talk about because we don't want people to feel like they need to have an app.
Android, actually.
Sorry?
I'm an Android, so.
Oh no, it works on Android too. I just to show you that that we do have phone apps. I don't have an Android laptop. But yeah, all of the hardware that we sell is actually Android. All the stuff that we have in our shop is all Android based. Like this is our handheld is basically a Galaxy S22 phone, or it's the A15 tablet, but they're basically the same thing.
Okay.
And this can actually take a payment right on the device without needing any kind of payment device, which is pretty cool. If you ever wanted to get that, add that level of handheld service. Any other questions?
I think we got it all. But you have something about we need, right? POS, everything you have.
Sorry, you're breaking up a little bit there. I didn't quite hear what you said.
Yeah. So I don't know if you're aware of what we need about POS and everything. So what we need is let me get through it.
If you're talking, I can't hear you.
Hey, Sammy, I'm still here too. I'm trying to chime in and see where I can help. I couldn't
about the POS. So we need 2 POS, 3 KDS.
Hardware needs. Okay. Yes.
Yes.
So you're aware about it. So you know what we need, right?
Yeah, of course, I have all that. Taylor, I haven't gone over that all with you, the specific equipment requirements. I figured what we were going to do today, of course, is you showing off the awesome software, and then we can reconvene on how to fine tune, any payments, pricing, numbers, things of that degree. We'll have to figure out the best way to do that. I want to make sure, of course, that Sam, both you and Kareem like this, and then we'll go that next step, obviously, and see how we can make it work the best for you.
Perfect.
I think that's what you. Now, one thing I want to ask too, because I didn't forget, Sam, you might be proud of me on this one. The loyalty members in Square was like 13,000.
Exact. Yeah.
Yep. So Taylor, they have. I think I told you previously when they took over this location, the previous owner was using Square, and in their Square system, they had a loyalty program that had about 13,000 current members. Working with GoTab, how will we be able to extract and import those?
I guess the first step is, can we extract those data from Square? That's the first.
Yes, I already did actually. I have this on a sheet.
Excel. She does have it on Excel. I apologize. I should have mentioned it. So yeah, I really didn't know how to extract it. She's already done that. That's right. Yes.
The only thing is about actually the rewards.
So the biggest challenge in making that transfer happen is we need to know their phone number. That's like the phone number is the unique identifier that GoTab uses. And we do that because people might share a credit card number, they might share an email address. Nobody shares phone numbers. So that's how we identify folks.
Actually, we have phone numbers and email addresses, but not on all of the customers.
Okay. So yeah, I will have to come back to you on what the best path, but there is definitely like multiple paths forward on how to get those data into GoTab and to satisfy the points. I want to come up with kind of a solid set of options, and then so I'll put it in writing for you instead of just speculating about it. But if you've got the list and you've got all the solid contact information, like that's the toughest thing. Because a lot of the times when we're taking over a rewards program, we don't get the phone number or we don't get good contact info, and it becomes almost impossible for us to make the transfer at that point.
Okay. I think it might be the same, but we'll look forward about it, and I will tell you about the phone numbers. I think not every customer will have their phone number.
Right.
We have the emails for sure, but phone numbers, no.
Right. So like I said, because of our flexibility, we there should be a way for us to accomplish this goal in moving you on one loyalty program and into another.
Perfect. Okay.
So, Sammy, I don't know, is Kareem still with us?
Yes, he's actually on another meeting here.
That's fine. That's fine. I just want to make sure I was addressing him also when I spoke, but I can address
Yes.
just you and you only. I just want to make sure I was being respectful and acknowledging his presence. So you tell me then, as far as what you've seen going the next step. I'm going to speak with Taylor some more about the needs that you've already discussed, and then a couple other things I want to ask him about, and then getting any kind of information to you to help you make a good decision.
And also what I need to know is when we can have the POS installed and everything. So
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if we put ink to paper today, it could move pretty rapidly. The things that slow us down the most are when we sign somebody up, not getting their location form and their merchant application completed in a timely fashion, because I can't ship anything until I can't ship you the hardware or the payment devices until that merchant app is done. And I don't have a POS system to give to you because we do the actual build out, right? Like you give us a menu, we build a point of sale system, and then it exists in the cloud for us to start training you with. So we always ask, you know, the number where we start to stand up a business is 8 weeks, but we can go way faster than that depending on how, like if you have a sense of urgency, we have a sense of urgency. So if we need to get it stood up, you know, in just a few weeks, we can absolutely do that. But a lot of that's contingent on you getting your homework done. Yeah.
And that's where I come in to help expedite and facilitate and you know, sew up any of those gaps, close up any of those gaps where there might be some challenges. That's what I can help with.
And actually what we can do about the menu and everything is just like download what we already have on Square and put it on the new one. Right?
Actually, I think our location form would just take the menu from your website. I think we would actually just use what you've got on Bento and build it out of that. And then what they do is they bring it back to you.
That's why we are willing to change it like in approximately like 15 days or something. Are going to change it, like the whole menu.
That's pretty ambitious. I would need to have an agreement signed today, but I would also need to check with onboarding to see.
Did you mean and I heard what you said too, Sammy? I was trying to make out. Did you mean that in 15 days you plan on doing you're changing the whole menu, or you need to have this done within the next 15 days?
We're changing the menu.
Yeah, that's what she said, Taylor. I think.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you wanted to go live in 15 days. Okay. Yeah, that's no problem.
Like, I wish we can do it. And also, like,
teamwork.
I've done it. I actually had to do it all myself, but I didn't. I pulled an all-nighter and got a restaurant stood up in 24 hours once. I don't ever want to do it again.
Well, hopefully we won't do that to you.
It's really difficult. But yeah, so we generally start by asking people for 8 weeks. If you have a truncated timeline, we'll work with it. I just need to make sure I communicate that across my channels to my people and say, hey, this is a priority. You know, I got a hot potato or whatever. But we can get you set up very quickly. Yeah. Okay. Like basically, like the process would be, I put an agreement in front of you, or I guess Matt will put the agreement in front of you. You know, if we signed it right this very second, it's Friday. It's pretty late in the day, so it would be Monday before I had your onboarding manager assigned. Once your onboarding manager is assigned, you would get the documentation from us, from the things that we need. From there, you know, we schedule the first onboarding meeting. Once we do that, we solidify your hardware order. We solidify the timelines and start scheduling training. You do your homework. We ship hardware. You know, and we go from there. So the process can be pretty quick. Provided that, you know, if we're working together on it, it definitely goes a lot faster. And, you know, with Matthew helping us out, we could definitely have you stood up, you know, fairly quickly. I'm going to say responsibly, let's give it 4 weeks, you know, on the inside. But if you need it faster than that, you know, I'll see what I can do for you.
Okay.
Because probably that if they're changing that menu, then and they decide to move forward, Taylor, the process can get started, and a lot of things could be from the moment the button go is pushed.
Yeah.
And then when the menus, that's just easy. Here's the new updates.
It would just be send us the new menu, not the old menu.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or send us both. If you want to have the old menu also exist in your product catalog, you know, send us everything. That just becomes.
We already have the new menu. It's just that the graphic part is not done yet. It is like very simple, but we have the whole menu. If you want me, I can like share it with you.
Oh, I don't need it. I don't need it right now. But it's like, as far as we're concerned, for getting you operational, I don't need the graphics. I just need the items, because we'll build the product catalog, major categories, add the items, and then we'll start talking about tags and rules afterwards. But this is like the easy part. We farm this out to a third party. So like, you just give us the menu, we give it to somebody else, and they turn it back to us. And then we present it to you. We want you to go through the modifier pass and make sure you're satisfied with all of that. Employees are entered correctly, all that kind of stuff. 1, 2.